All right, let's get started. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to this webinar, and thank you for joining us for the 2021 ZAP Tier 2 contract webinar. We'll be reviewing the obligations of your funding outlined in your contract, as well as the optional opportunities available to your organization. And then we're going to walk through quickly on how you are going to sign your 2021 contract. Please be sure to keep your microphones muted during the presentation because there's a lot of people in here and there'll be a lot of talking otherwise. And so if you have any comments or questions during the webinar, you can go ahead and use the chat box. It's on the bottom of your screen. There's a little button that says chat, and you can type your questions in there, and we can address them as we go, or also at the end of the presentations, we'll have a chunk of time that are just for questions. And if you need any additional help after this presentation, don't hesitate to send me a message, call me, or email me, and I can set up a time to assist you as you need, or anything else you need. All right. So with that out of the way, congrats on your funding. I'm very excited for all of you to receive your funding. This year, we received 183 applications, with 179 being funding them. And $3.3 million were requested, and the board recommended 2.4 million, which is really great. And it's we know that with COVID and things have been hard, and there's been a lot of readjustment, and all of you have done super well with figuring out those different opportunities and restructuring and pivoting. And we really want to commend you on that. And we are happy that you have applied again this year and are going to continue moving things forward. Okay, so this is me. A lot of you don't know me. My name is Daniel Sturgios. I'm the new Grant and Communications Coordinator. I am stepping into the role that previously Jen held, who has so graciously donated her time to be here with us today. And she has been helping me step into this role, which is a super big help. And we all know Kirsten, and she's been so great, and she's stepped into a new role as well. And so I definitely want to just recognize the both of them. Like, their legacy will live on here. I was fortunate enough to be their intern about a year ago, and I got to be there for about a year and a half. And so I hope to continue their legacy and the awesome work that they did in moving this program forward and building it. And that being said, so I'm the coordinator, but I'm not the director right now. We are still hiring for director and having that process move along. But as more information continues, I will let all of you know. But yeah, we normally are a two-staff operation, but right now it's just me, with the help of Jen and Robin, who's the head of the community. She's the associate director of community programs, and Holly and all those people. So I'm not alone, but please be patient with me as I step into this role. I've been here for about a month, and yeah.
You're doing an amazing job, Daniel.
Thank you, Jen. All right, so we're gonna kick off by starting to go over your contractual obligations and expectations. A lot of these are things that you already know, but we just like to do a quick refresher and make sure all of you understand that. Let's see. So first, your contract limits your use of ZAP funds to allow allowable expenses, and you're expected to expend them on the activities that you had identified in your 2021 application. You can refer to that question in your application, I believe it's question 6, if of your application, if you need to be reminded of what you had put down. ZAP understands that if you receive less money than projected, your activities may be adjusted accordingly. If you are no longer able to do any of the activities stated in your application, please just contact me and let me know, and we can figure that out together. Additionally, we know that we're still in the midst of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, and so things are continually changing and shifting as we continue to get more into person, maybe, or maybe the Delta variant has shifted things a little step back. We know that those things continue to create unique circumstances, and so please be sure that your ZAP funded activities are fully in line with the current public policy for COVID safety, which is required in the compliance and laws section of your contract. And again, if you have any questions about any of that stuff, feel free to reach out to me and we can get that figured out.
And Daniel, just a quick note, there are some organizations who they'll be referring to question 7 instead of question 6, depending on whether they asked for project funding or for organizational funding.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you for that reminder. Yes. Some of you might be referring to question 7. Okay. As a reminder, ZAP funds cannot be used for any of the following expenses. This is a long list, but I'm just going to quickly go through it. Events outside of Salt Lake City, or Salt Lake County, sorry. So that's everywhere within Salt Lake County is acceptable. Endowment, accumulated deficits or debt retirement, capital improvements. So that's things like if you're building a new building or you're building, you want funding for a sculpture for your building, stuff like that. Lobbying expenses, scholarships, purchase of awards, cash or other prizes, non-cultural culture celebratory activities, such as like neighborhood parties or a block party. It has to have a cultural asset to it. Regranting, educational institutions receiving more than 50% of its funding from the state. Activities that are primarily religious in purpose. Magazines or newspaper, radio or television broadcasting. Activities intended for fundraising for endowments or capital campaigns. There's also recreational, rehabilitative, or therapeutic programs, social service programs, fireworks, sister city programs, and rodeos. And if you included any of these in your application, you can just reach out to me and we can figure that out together. All right, next slide. This year, many organizations have seen substantial changes to their program planning as they adapt. I know a lot of you did this in 2020 as you adapted, and then in 2021, the adapting has continued. As was detailed in a lot of your applications this year. You must contact us prior to signing your contract to discuss appropriate use of funds if you plan on changing it significantly. Your organization cannot use ZAP funds for COVID-related costs that are already being covered through another funding source. So for a lot of you, that last year, that was a lot of the SBIG grants or the Community Partners Grant. There was stuff like that. And some of those grants have continued into 2021 and possibly 2022, depending on how you are planning to use those funds, those timelines for those other grants. So we're just making sure that you're not double dipping or anything like that. And also note for your 2021 funding, it must be expended no later than December 31st of 2022. Although we expect you to expend those funds in a 12-month period indicated on your application. If you encounter any difficulties with this, just contact us and we can help figure that out and help assist that. Any 2021 or sorry, yes, 2021 funds not spent by December 2022 will be need to return to the county. Okay, signing and same year contract. In your 2021 application contract, you will see that there will be a tab available under the ZAP 2021 Tier 2 contract tab, and that's where you're going to be signing your contract. Below the contract text, you'll find 2 or 3 exhibit documents that you'll need to save and sign. Every organization will have an Exhibit 1, which is a copy of your application, and an Exhibit 2, a copy of the logo and usage acknowledgement guide. Please save a copy of both of these for your application for your records, and the logo usage guide both for signing your contract, but as well as so you can refer to that as you continue to use our logo based on what is said in the logo guide. So for those of you who have marketing and promotion staff or volunteers that are using our logo, please, they should carefully review the logo guide, even if they've read it in previous years, just to be sure they understand the requirements and continue to follow those guidelines. Your organization may receive contact from our staff in the next year regarding ZAP logo usage in the event that it is not following the guidelines laid out. This guide can also be downloaded on our website, along with all of the logo files that you'll need. There's Illustrator files, JPEGs, etc. As more organizations are holding online events, we would ask that you use our logo in your online materials. So if that's you guys doing a Zoom performance or something like that, you can just at the end show it on the screen. Please refer to the logo usage guide for the appropriate way to utilize the logo. Okay. We also have banners, and there's Kirsten there with her banners. We haven't been in the office a lot lately, but we do have these for you. And as you guys continue to have more in-person events, if you need any of our banners or posters that you'd like to have, you can set up a time with me. I'm often not in the office. Right now I'm working from home, but we can set up a time to meet there together, so that way you can get everything that you need ahead of your events and whatnot. Okay. Your organization is contractually obligated to invite the advisory board to at least one of them every year. This helps board members to experience the work that your organization does. Event invitations may be submitted through our advisory board form, which is on our website. We try to make it as easy as possible. So you guys just go to Tools for Grantees and Applicants, and under Advisory Board Invitation Form. Using that link, there will be a form that you just simply fill out, and then we can hand it off to our board, the Tier 2 board. We don't accept physical invitations, so please use this as a way of inviting, and we can let them know, virtually. We don't have like I said, there's no one in the office right now, so handing off physical tickets probably isn't going to be the best way to do this. Using that form is the best way to ensure that they will receive that invitation. We pass it along to them. Also, we would prefer that you send out the invitations well in advance of the event. 3 to 4 weeks is preferred, so about a month out. That gives us time to see the event invitation and who we need to contact for them, as well as giving them time, a well amount of time to RSVP, or if we have questions about the event. In the comments section, you can let us know where tickets will be available for useful information. So like if it's like a will call thing or anything like that, you can just let us know in the comments of that form. The ZAP program does not expect you to invite ZAP Tier 2 advisory boards to your fundraising events. We understand that everyone should pay to attend fundraising events, so to invite them to regularly schedule other events than that. If you're a museum and open during regular hours, feel free to invite them to your museum just during your regular hours. The same is true for free events. Free events are still welcome for our board, so that way they can attend those as well. Sending an invitation just helps them remember you and what you do for our community, and we really want to show that off, right? So, yeah. Okay, now playing Utah. Most of you are familiar with this already, but we just always like to have the reminder. Your organization is contractually required to post your events on Now Playing Utah. Now Playing Utah is a one-stop shop for residents and visitors to find out what's going on in our community. As a part of your evaluation, you will have to demonstrate that you posted these events on the website. This is simply like you can just take a screenshot of your event on Now Playing Utah and sending it to us. And we understand that because of the past year, you know, sometimes if you have like a virtual event or an in-person event that got canceled or rescheduled, that's still okay as long as you guys post it on there, right? When you plan to hold the event, that's what we're looking for. And you can submit the event right up here in the top right. There's a button that says submit event, and you can just click that to put your events on their website.
And Daniel, can I just add, because Now Playing Utah isn't run by ZAP, if you have any technical problems with getting your event up, finding your event on the website, anything like that, you'll want to contact their staff specifically because they'll be the ones who can give you technical assistance.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, this is definitely not our website. It's actually one of our grantees, the Utah Cultural Alliance, is the ones that are in charge of it. But we work with them pretty closely, and you know, if you have questions, I'm sure they would love to help you out. They're usually pretty good at responding to questions and helping out with those kind of things. Okay. There we go. Okay. So this is about evaluation reports. So you will be required to submit an evaluation report using Zoom grants that shows how you use the ZAP funds. Your evaluation should be completed in Zoom grants as soon as the fiscal period of which you expended your ZAP 2021 funds is completed, as you will be asked to report on the budgetary actuals of that year. Your evaluation will be available on your 2021 application on a tab that will say evaluation. As a part of the evaluation, you'll be asked to verify that you are acknowledging ZAP. So please keep those PDF files of media with ZAP logo, and remember to take photos of ZAP recognition at the event to upload to your evaluation, as well as taking screenshots of your events on Now Playing Utah. So this is photos of, you know, a banner that you had at said event. This is, you know, PDFs of the programs and pamphlets that you hand out and your events on Now Playing Utah. Failure to submit an evaluation will disqualify you from your future funding. This final deadline of your evaluation is March 31st, 2023. Yes, March 31st, 2023, 2 years after your award cycle. So right now we're in 2021. You'll be using your funds throughout 2022, and then March 31st, those first 3 months, is when you'll be submitting that evaluation. And we ask you to submit it as soon as you can. So that's, we used to try and do it by the time that you finished your, like if it was a specific event, you did the specific event. But now in order to capture everything that we want to accurately report everything that you guys do. And so we found that it was better to do it after the fiscal year of which you had that. So because we want to capture that full 2022 cycle, it won't be until March 31st, 2023. I hope that makes sense. Okay. ZAP will often use Zoom grants to contact you and your organization. In order to do this, please be sure that you contact emails. Your contact emails have added @Zoom grants to your safe sender whitelist and your contacts, so that way it's up to date in the system. We can't do that for you through Zoom grants to contact you. So this must be something that you have to do through your organization. This is especially important when you're experiencing changes in staff, having that transition where whoever has that current login of Zoom grants and that contact info Zoom grants, and transferring it to that person that is incoming or taking over that role. You can change your organization's contact information at any time within your Zoom grants profile. We cannot actually control this, but this is something that you can do on your end. Anyone associated with the application will receive the emails. So they're the ones that have to edit. If there have been changes of staff in your organization and you no longer have access to Zoom grants that created your account, please reach out to me. I can contact Zoom grants and they will be able to work with you on getting access to your organization's application. But as well, if there is a change in your contact information, we would appreciate the email update for our own records as well. All right, tools. Our ZAP monthly newsletter is our main point of contact with grantees throughout the year, and we strongly recommend anyone reaching out to our organization who will be involved with your ZAP funds. You can sign up for the newsletter on the Tools for Currently Funded Grantees page of our website. So under the tools, there's sign up for the ZAP mailing list, and this is the newsletter that lets you know this is available, like we might have opportunities, there might be a call for something, and this is also another way that you'll receive updates from us. We're also committed to spreading the work about your events, and this is something I'm really passionate about. I love, and I'm just a fan of all of you and what you do and all your different events and what you offer to our community. So that being said, please add the email PRZAP to your mailing list and send us those press releases and newsletters and anything you might find interesting for us. If you have like great photos, I'm really looking to build like a grantee photo library, which would be really cool. And we use this email to create our like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter posts for our users. And right now, those things have kind of like taken a step back, so that way we can really focus on the grant process, especially since it's just me. That's the person that's dedicated right now, and I'm still figuring that out, and we're still in that transition period. But still keep sending those things and all of that because we love to see it. All right. ZAP also has opportunities to highlight your organization and it's not contractual. Contractual reminder of compliance with county policy. We expect that your events will be safe and in line with current COVID safety guidelines as released by the county and the health department, because we can only promote those events that are in compliance with it. And most of you have been really good about this. Almost all of you say like encouraging masks or like however the county is adapted, you have adapted as well. And we really appreciate that. And we really appreciate you sending those photos and everything to us, so that way we can put it on our social media. So you can tag us at SLCO ZAP on our Facebook and Instagram in your posts and let us know what you're up to. And ZAP's Facebook and Twitter frequently cover the like what we are doing. So those are the what ZAP has been up to. And the ZAP's Instagram is showing the why. So like, why does the county care about ZAP? Why do community members, why should they care about ZAP? And that's what we try to show through the Instagram specifically, using like compelling images and what we want to share with those followers. Okay. ZAP Ticket Tuesday, this is something that we've had on hiatus, and it'll be on hiatus a little bit longer, probably just until we have a new director, so that way we can get back into the swing of things. I hope you guys understand that. But please do know that we plan on bringing that back up again. It's a really great way to highlight each of you grantees and get some more people into those events, and share that through our Facebook, which is how we run Ticket Tuesday. If you guys don't know, it used to be a weekly giveaway through our Facebook page, and we called it ZAP Ticket Tuesday. It's a popular program that is an opportunity to highlight your paid events and thank the public for their support of ZAP. Typically, they're scheduled a couple of months in advance. And so once we get back to that step, we can figure that out and start scheduling them in advance, so that way we have time to run the giveaways and have those people adequate time to accept their tickets and then plan for the event. And if you have any questions on this or have any thoughts, ideas, please contact me and we can discuss kind of what that timeline looks like, as far as maybe when we'll be starting Ticket Tuesday up again, and what you have ideas for us as far as events that you'd like to have through that giveaway. Oh, there was one thing I also wanted to talk about right here, just as we're here. The other thing that we usually run is the Kids Summer Passport, and that is something that we aren't sure at how it's going to be for 2022. Again, that's another thing that we'll be revisiting as there's a new director, and once we fill that position, we can focus on what we plan on doing for that program. Okay, use of funds and audits for public records and access. It's important to remember that your grant is considered public funds. The county may audit your use of funds as necessary. Failure to comply with the terms of your contract is grounds withholding these public funds and terminating future funding. Now that the council has approved this cycle's Tier 2 awards, these applications are considered public record. This means that public may request a copy of your ZAP application. If this happens, the ZAP program, we will provide the requester for the information, and we'll let them know if someone has requested your organization's application. So we'll let you know as well. Disbursements. Your funds will be dispersed in 2 installments. The first installment of your 2021 funding will be around February 2022 with 60% of the award, and then the remaining 40% will be in May of 2022. If the tax revenues change and overall projected award needs to be adjusted, you'll be informed, and your second installment will be adjusted as well. Okay, vendor management. In order to ensure that your organization receives their funds in a timely manner, please be sure that you have a current vendor management form submitted to the county. Most of you have this, but especially if you're a new grantee, this is something that you will have to do and submit to the county and then through me, so that way we can get the correct information to give you your funding. If you'll also want to provide the direct deposit information for payment, and this should be completed well before the beginning of the new year, so before 2022. So we have that time to process this. If you need to sign for your direct deposit, or if you need to update your bank information, please download the vendor management form from the Tier 2 page under the contractual obligations tab. And if you have any questions, just please contact me and we can figure that out together. And yeah, you'll see right here that under tools again, the vendor management form. And right now it does say Jen, but I will be updating that so it says my name and she won't get a ton of emails that she'll have to forward to me. Okay. As a ZAP recipient of ZAP funds, it is expected that you will maintain reasonable and appropriate insurance in accordance with industry standards. Since the ZAP program doesn't dictate what this might be, we expect you to know what this is and have the appropriate level of insurance required for your organization or your event. All right. This is about your contract and the individuals of your organization. Please read your contract thoroughly and share it with any individuals of your organization who might interact with the ZAP funds, including board leadership, development, finance, marketing staff, and volunteers. We strongly recommend that they watch this video of the workshop so that once we have released it, so that they can be familiar with the contractual obligations as well. This is good for everyone who might be using our logo, using the funding, etc. You can also add these key people as collaborators to your application within Zoom grants so that they can review the contract at any point and you can allow them online access. We will show you how to add someone as a collaborator shortly. Okay. Now is the time that most of you have been waiting for. I'm going to show you how to sign your contract. Your contracts will be available no later than today.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just had a question from Catherine about the vendor management form, which if it's okay, do you mind if I address it real quick?
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay, great. So Catherine had asked if there is already a vendor management form on file, does it need to be submitted again? Which is a great question. You only need to submit your vendor management form to us again if something has changed. So the things that could have possibly changed that you would submit a new form for would be if you have new banking information, if you have a new mailing address that we would need if we were to mail you anything. Some of you have signed up, in fact, the majority of you have signed up for direct deposit, and we strongly, strongly encourage groups to sign up for direct deposit. There are a few organizations that cannot accept direct deposit because of the way that the finances are dealt with. If there is a check that's being mailed to you, you want to be sure that the mailing address that you have on file is correct, because if it goes to the wrong address, clearly you will not get that check, and then we'll have to recut it for you. So if your contact phone number, contact mailing address, or contact person and email have changed, you'd want to submit a new form. If your banking information has changed, you'll want to submit a new form. If you have been receiving a check, but you would like to move over to direct deposit, which again, we strongly encourage, you would want to submit a new form for that to allow us to switch you over to direct deposit. That is why you would submit a new form, or if this is your first year being funded with ZAP, you'll need to submit a form as well. So if you haven't been funded with us before, we'll need to have you submit that as soon as possible so that we can move forward with your payment. If you don't have any of those changes, if your banking information is the same, if the contact information is the same, and you've been funded with us in previous years, you don't need to submit a new form. We'll just keep the current information that we have on file. All right, you're good to go, Daniel.
Thank you. That's good for me to know too. Okay. Where was I? Oh, signing your contract. Right. So your contracts will be available today, which is great for everyone because now you don't have to have that break. It's just all this information is now ready for you immediately. The contracts, you will have a full 2 weeks to sign it starting today. So you must sign by November 12th. November 12th, put it in your calendar, put it in your phone calendar, write it on a sticky note and put it on your calendar. Put it on your bedside table. Remember November 12th. That is the date to remember. And please make sure that the person who has contractual authority is the one who signs the contract. So they are the ones that must watch this webinar, and they must be the one to sign within their own account through Zoom Grants. You'll log in and make them as a collaborator if you need to give them access to the contract. You can invite them to collaborate. They will receive a Zoom Grants email that will indicate that they were added as a collaborator. And then if they already have a Zoom Grants account, they can go in there and they'll be added to that application. Or if they don't, there's instructions on how to create an account if they do not. Okay. So let's go to. Okay, we can all see this, right? We can see the Zoom Grants page. If we can see Zoom Grants, someone give me a thumbs up. Okay, great. Okay, so right here we have our test application. So if you go into the application.
Oh, hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Would you back out and show them where to go to log in again? Just as a quick reminder for exactly the website they need to navigate to and then how to log in.
Yeah, okay. So just
Yeah, I would just sign out and then show them where to go specifically, because sometimes that helps.
not figure out where there we go. Okay. So you're gonna go to zoomgrants.com and so you go to zoomgrants.com and then you're gonna click login at the top. Oh, well, it auto logged in for me. But basically you just type in your email and your password and then it'll log you into this page. And this should be the page that comes up. And under approved applications, you'll see that there's the Tier 2 2021 application. And then so you'll click on the application itself. And this is what'll come up. And so if you scroll, you'll scroll all past this, right? And then you'll see this tab section. You'll see the summary and your application questions, everything there. Right here is the 2021 Tier 2 contract tab. And you'll click on the contract tab and you'll see that, ooh, that needs to be changed, but it'll say November 12th, 2021 is the deadline. but you'll continue to scroll past this, and you'll find everything that you need to read through. Keep scrolling. All right. At the bottom here, you'll see that there's two documents. These are the two documents that we talked about earlier. The first one is the Exhibit 1 2021 Tier 2 application, and this is a copy of your application that you'll want to download and save for yourself. So you'll sign in here. And then you'll want to click out of the box to save for that. And it says the signature will appear here when the page is refreshed. So right now it doesn't show anything. Once you refresh the page, it will show that you have signed. Okay, so those are the two documents. The first one, oh, I didn't even say the second one. The second one is the logo guide. You'll sign for both of them. And then you'll see at the bottom here is the
Daniel.
signature. Yeah.
Sorry, quick interruption. Before you sign for those, please download them. So in order to download them, you need to click on the link, which is the underlined text, download it and save it to your computer and then sign for it afterward.
Gotcha. Yes, be sure to download both of these and save them, so that way you have them before you sign. And then once again, after you do sign, be sure to click out of the box in order for it to save your signature. And then you'll go to the bottom, sign one more time, signing the contract itself. And then again, it'll say, I clicked outside to save it. And then the signature, it will be here when you refresh the page. So now if I go and refresh the page, I scroll all the way back down. Oh, I did not go to the contract tab. If you go to the contract tab and then scroll all the way down, there's my signature and it notes the date and the email. And again, down here, it shows that. And I did see we had a question. Why can't I find my question box? Ah, there we go.
So Daniel, the questions are, the contract box must be checked within their collaborator access options. You'll want to go back to the settings, or I'm sorry, the first tab to show them how to add their collaborators and where to click the contract. And then Judy, so Rebecca, we're going to show you where to add collaborators and how to give them contract access. Judy also asked, so our signature won't be on our copy. And actually, Judy, yes, it will be. So after you have signed it and then you've refreshed the page, if you save out the contract after you have signed it, it'll include your signature. You'll want to save out the copy of your contract, though, after our contracting department has also signed it, though. So that'll be something that you can do after the entire contract process is finished. But your signature will be on it.
Yes, that's a really good question. Because at the bottom, what I was showing you here, just for clarification, is like, so that is your application. That'll have all of your application answers and everything that you put down there. But once it does come time for you to save the contract itself, your signatures will be in there. You'll want to wait, like Jen said, and then that'll be where you click this button to save the contract as a PDF. And now I'm going to show you where to add the collaborators. Okay, so this is collaborators. Collaborators can only edit application data. They cannot submit, archive, or delete the application. So they can submit their signatures though. So if you want to add a collaborator, you'll go ahead and put in their email address. You'll put in their first name, their last name, and their title. So I'll be a director too. And then after that, you can click add to additional contacts if you'd like, so that way they can be contacted about application updates too. And then you can give them access to the application, the evaluation, and contract signing if you'd like. Then you'll click invite, and it'll send them an invite to their email, which they can then accept and put through.
And Daniel, if I can also just add, there's another question of why you would add a collaborator. So you would specifically only add a collaborator if someone else needs to sign the contract other than the person that owns the application. If the person that owns the application is also the one signing the contract, they don't need to be added as a collaborator. They can just sign the contract right away. But if you have another person in your organization other than the person who has the control of the application and owns the application who has to sign it, you have to follow this process that Daniel is showing you right now with that 2021 Tier 2 contract checkbox checked in order for them to sign it. Cool. Sorry. Thanks, Daniel.
Oh, that's great. That reaches the end of at least my presentation on how to contract sign. Does anyone else have any questions about specifically adding collaborators or signing their contract?
There was one more question about that, Daniel. The question was, I was added as a collaborator. If I can see the contract tab, am I okay to sign, or do I need to do something first? You will know if you have access to the contract, to sign the contract, if you go to the page that Daniel showed you and you're able to type into those boxes. If there are no boxes, or if you cannot type into them, that means that you have not been given contract access specifically, and the owner of the application will need to go back and click that checkbox that Daniel showed you specifically to let you actually sign it. So if the checkbox is not checked and you are a collaborator, then you might be able to see the contract, but you can't sign the contract. So if you're going to only see it but not sign it, talk to the application owner, have them click that checkbox, and then you'll be able to do so. And Claire, I'm going to unmute you real fast. I just wanted you to clarify what you meant by the 292. And I just sent you an unmute request, so you'll want to unmute yourself.
Okay. Oh, oops, that was a typo. That was a typo. I was just trying to ask, do I need to put in the evaluation for the last application?
Oh, okay. No, your evaluation process will be separate from your contract signing process. So if you're asking about your 2020 funding,
Right.
if the fiscal year that you requested funds for 2020 is finished and you have the actuals for that, because the evaluation will ask you for budgetary actuals, you will go back to your 2020 application in Zoom Grants and you can submit your application there. You won't do it in your contract in your 2021 application. So you'll go back in Zoom Grants and find your 2021 specifically.
Okay, and the deadline for that I thought was today, is that?
No. We'll just be talking about the contracts for your 2021 application now. The deadline for the evaluation for your 2020 funding will be 2022. So it'll likely be at the end of March, but Daniel will confirm that with you. So if you already have the information and you have your fiscal data, you can fill it out now, but the deadline for your 2020 evaluation is not until spring 2022.
Okay. Where was I? Because I was seeing the deadline for today. Maybe it was just this event today, but
It probably was that. Yeah, it may have just been.
I was just kind of like scrambling, thinking, I need to get this in.
Yeah, no, you were likely seeing the date for this workshop specifically, but you don't need to worry about the deadline for that evaluation for the 2020 funding until 2022. The deadline for your 2021 evaluation will be 2023.
Okay, Great.
So yeah, the big dates to remember are November 12th, which is in 2 weeks.
Nope.
And that's to sign the contract. And then after that, it'll be the deadline. The next upcoming deadline will be March of 2022 for your 2020 evaluation.
And then Judy asked, will we know when the contracting department has signed the application? Judy, I would recommend that you come back to your contract at the end of November or beginning of December. It will absolutely be signed by then by our contracting department. So if you return back, I'd say just to be safe, come back first week of December, and then you'll be able to download your fully executed contract that has your signatures and our Salt Lake County signatures as well. Daniel, Russell Harlow asked which documents might we need to upload, the button link under signatures. I'm not sure which this is referring to. Do you want to share your screen again to pull that back up so that we can look at it?
So you said the upload.
Oh, okay. I can see that button that he's referring to, the upload 2021 tier 2 contract documents. Russell, you don't have anything that you need to upload here. All we're asking you to do is to download the documents we have given you and then give us your signatures. And that's everything we need. You don't need to upload any additional documents. You don't need to upload your signatures or anything. We'll be able to get that off of Zoom Grants. All right, Daniel, that's all of the questions I can see in the chat right now.
Okay. Well, if there aren't any more questions, yeah, if there aren't any more questions, this is kind of the end of the presentation, which we finished a little early, which is great. Now you guys have an extra half an hour to add to your time today. If you have any more questions about contracting or signing, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I can assist with you and I will help with you and over the phone or set up a phone call or a Zoom, WebEx, whatever. We can figure it out together. We encourage you to keep touch with us throughout the year. So that'd be me. And then as we have a director, keep in touch with the director. We always love hearing from you, and we're always excited about the great things that all of you do in our community, all the events you have, and really the value that you provide to being a Salt Lake County community member. And again, congratulations on your 2021 Tier 2 funding.
Daniel, we had one more question from Fawn. Yep, where do we go to pick up the banners and signs? So Fawn, like Daniel just said, you contact him for it, but we'll be able to arrange it so that you can go to the office to pick them up. We don't have stuff in there currently, but our front desk staff can hand it off to you after you have coordinated it with Daniel directly.
So either I or the office staff, we can set up a time for you to get those banners and everything that you need. Cool. Well, yeah, if there aren't any more questions, have a good day, everyone. Thank you.